Alright, this video is the first video of a Mazda Protege 2002. This is a Mazda Protege 5, it's a hatchback. That's 2.0 motor. Transmission. This one was having overdrive problems. It was slipping on third, fourth gears. Went through the entire thing, did a couple of diagnostics on it. Helps to have a good diagnostic tool, like in Genesis or Snap-on service or something like that, and get right to the heart of the problem. Well, we did that. Right now what we're going to do is swap out the tranny, and through the most cost-effective way, and rebuilds and all that are going to be a little more expensive. Got a good tranny shop, engine shop, that had some good ones tested, guaranteed, and everything. This is the one we're going to be swapping in. This is the good one. Okay, that's it there. We're going to take this one out. First things I did was obviously lift the vehicle, put it on jacks, make sure everything's secure, put the brake, safety first. We're going to be working underneath it for a little bit. So now I disconnected the battery, removed the battery, the air ducts, a couple of little components that are in the front of the vehicle here. You're going to have to remove the EGR tube, which is here, which is a good thing because I did some aftermarket headers on it and never got it actually quite put back right. So now will be a good time to get that tube removed and replace it and get something that actually fits and get rid of the problem with the EGR going it cold. Anyhow, we'll do that at the end. Like I said, this is the transmission here. We're going to remove, this is number 4 engine mount, that'll be removed. Removing the transmission, you got these bolts right here. A couple of the big bolts, there's about 8 of them go around it on this particular model. This another model comes in here as well, has the left bolts. This one has 8 bolts holding it together. You'll want to get your wiring harness all out and tied out and out the way. What you could do, I've done this one before, so I kind of know where they go, plus I have it all data, so it kind of gives me exact schematics on it. If you don't, you can just color code where these things go. Put a little line white here, a little line of white on the cable. You'll know that this snap was right there, and you can go through with a red and a blue, and just do that in different locations. That's a good way of just marking and knowing where your clips go back in, and you'll have that wiring harness all put back to where it's supposed to. This is the transmission shift cable. This will also be disconnected. You can just take a couple of 10mm screws off of here, take the entire bracket off, and then just disconnect it over at the bottom down there, and it ties into the transmission shift. So well, that's all pretty simple, said and done. Now let me get down here and show you the axles. Took off the wheels, take off the knuckle, axle nut, caliper. Pull all this out in order for us to be able to remove the axles themselves. You can see these axles, the boots are already tearing up, breaking, so it'll be a good time maybe to replace those kind of worn parts and stuff like that. If you're not on a budget, if you are, then maybe just reclamping it down, refilling it and trying to get it to, but it's definitely not recommended, and I actually wouldn't do that here. If they wanted to do that, they would have to take it elsewhere. Anyhow, basically what's going to happen is this axle will be removed from the back here and basically just pops out. You put a wedge bar in between there. If you have the right tool, there's a axle popper, and you stick it back there. It looks like a fork, kind of like a ball joint or a tie rod separator, and you pry on it and pops it right out of place. Move it out of there, because this is a trans axle. So what that means is front wheel drive is a transmission differential all in one, and the axles go right into the transmission. This is the transmission, axle goes right into it on this side. I'm going over on the other side. Basically it's going to be pretty much the same thing here. You're going to remove all these, get this out the way, remove your tie rods,
get the axle out. On this side, on the passenger side, it's a bit different. Get under here so you can see. You have a joint here. You have another rod that goes all the way right into the transmission again, right back here. So basically, again, you see as that's a little wedge right in between here. That's where you'll get the thing. Should slide right out, pop right out. A couple of more bolts. I'll let you see them in the back. You got these bolts going from the engine into the transmission case, or this part here would be actually the bell housing. Get those taken out. What I did was pre-lubed them last night. I put BP Blast on all of it, and hopefully it should all come off pretty easily once I start taking it apart. All these sensors, a lot of them were bad since it did give an overdrive light, so then we'll go through all of that. Alright, there's video 1.